red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego, then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Yes, indeed. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And tonight we have a monumental presentation for you guys, man. I promise you, y'all asked for it and we delivered. You know what I'm talking about? So y'all was like, yo, where's Ross Ben at? Where's Ross? Yeah, Ross Ben is here in the building. So, you know, strap yourselves in. You know what I mean? If you're on your way home from work, put on your seatbelt because this shit is about to be a bumpy ride. We about to turn up, turn up. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do the roll call. And let's see who's in the building. You dig? Let's see who's in the building. All right. I know we up in this thing. You said you've been waiting for the yearly RAS update. That's beautiful. Right on time. Right on time. All right. Peace to everybody. Peace to the Twitch family. Peace to the Facebook family. And peace to the YouTube family. We are broadcasting simultaneously through all of those channels. Shout out to everybody who joined us last night. We went viral. We had 35,000 views for the video that me and Blue Pill did. Shout out to everybody that tapped in. We got exposed to a new audience. It was lit. It was lit. So shout out to everybody that was in the building with us. Buffalo is in the building. Brick City, New Jersey is in the building. The Virgin Islands is in the building. Maryland is in the building. All right. What up, Andrea? I got a picture with you too. I'm gonna put it on. Matter of fact, I was supposed to put some Throwback Thursday pictures up. I got one with you on 25th. Shout out to Decatur. Shout out to St. Louis up in this thing. Detroit, Honolulu. We got Ohio. We got South Kakalaka, Chino Hills, Sanford. Yes, yes, yes. You know what I mean? We got San Francisco up in B-More, North Kakalaka, Dallas, Texas. Harlem is up in this thing. We got Norfolk, Colorado, Connecticut. We got Omaha, Nebraska, Jacksonville, Ireland, Spartansburg. Said you bought a crystal from Ross Ben when you was at the gathering of the masters. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's beautiful. Okay, you in Lake Charles, Louisiana. All right, all right. Shout out to you. All right. Indiana's up in this thing. The BX. We got Milwaukee, San Jose, Newport News, DMV, ATL by way of Connecticut, Killian, Texas. We have Westchester in the building. Shout out to the Westchester family. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Welcome to the program. You could have been anywhere else, but you're rocking with the best. So we welcome you. All right. Trenton, New Jersey, Buffalo, Chesapeake. How y'all like this time? How y'all like this time? This is a new time for us, a new time zone. You know what I mean? Instead of doing midnight shows and whatnot, how do y'all like this time? Because I kind of like this time. I'm fucking with this time. It get mad dark anyway around this time. It's literally nighttime at 5 o'clock where I'm from. So I'm rocking with this time. You know, the tarmac is not crowded. We could take off. You know, when you in the airport and it's mad planes on the tarmac and you gotta wait to take off. That's prime time on YouTube where everybody is broadcasting and it's like, shit, I want to take off, but you know, the tarmac is crowded. So I like this time. This is a cool time. I get the rest. After I'm finished, I could still do other things with my day other than finishing. And it's like 2 a.m. and whatnot. And I'm dead tired, you know. But we'll do some late night stuff. You know what I'm saying? We'll do the late night, you know what I mean? But it won't be like this every broadcast. But I think Third Eye Thursdays and Melanin Mondays, they need because it's you know, it's days, it's Third Eye Thursday, Melanin Monday. So it's like we need to broadcast while Monday is still alive, you know what I mean? Versus like Melanin Monday at midnight and you watching it on Tuesday. So yeah, that part. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring my guest in the building. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk your heads off and whatnot. We do have some announcements to make. But we'll do that when everybody comes up in the building and whatnot. We don't want to do it prematurely. Am I on Twitch right now? Is a bird flying? Is a fish swimming? Yes, I'm on Twitch. I'm gonna drop my Twitch handle in there right now. I need some of my Twitch experts to hit me up. You know, feel me? I need some Twitch people to hit me up. Y'all might as well tap in while it's early, you know what I mean? Before we really start taking off with this Twitch thing, you know, I need some of my Twitchers to hit me up. We have a lot of plans that we want to share, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do it all alone and whatnot. Shout out, yeah, shout me out, my Twitchers, people that are out here, my streamers and whatnot. Tap in with your brother so we could build. You dig? Tap in with your brother so we could build. Yeah, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, returning to the platform, we have KTL alumni. This brother has been rocking with us since Blog Talk days. And before I even begin, if you have content on Blog Talk, please go ahead and remove it. If you have content on Blog Talk, remove it. If you have a favorite platform on Blog Talk, go ahead and do whatever you could do to try to download those episodes, because come January, Blog Talk Radio will cease to exist. They are terminating their channel. So that whole rich archive of information and content and data is going to be lost forever. Get on top of it. You dig? Get on top of it. So Brother K said he only signed up because of you. All right, that's beautiful. I'm going to show y'all the power of the streaming. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, you got to activate the scrape. You got to scrape Blog Talk for all of their content. Thank me later. All right. So this brother is KTL alumni. He's been rocking with us since we've been popping out and whatnot. We have a tradition over here on KTL where the good brother Ross Ben opens up the calendar year and he's there to close it out. You know what I mean? He's there to close it out and whatnot. So this is that time of the season where the good brother comes through and he broadcasts with us and he taps in. But tonight we have a very special show. We have some information that we're gonna share with y'all. So without any further ado, I bring to you none other, our brother, the one and only Ross Ben in the building.
Yes, I. Yes, I.
Yes,
Let me
I.
get my camera right.
There we go. I got
There.
it for you.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
All right.
I.
Yes, I.
Well, go on. Well,
Love,
go on.
honor, and respect. KTL. What? What an
Yeah.
honor.
Bria,
What an
bria.
honor. Salute.
Salute. You already
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
The
I'm gonna
family
take the
was
red and blue pill. I'm gonna be purple.
purple.
I'm gonna be purple tonight with the red and the blue. What?
It's only
Come
right.
on now.
It's only right. And I,
Yeah. To this
you know,
day.
to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when I see purple, I always for some reason it's like a default. I think about you
Uh,
because of that book that I read that changed my life. You know what I mean? The
uh.
Rocks of All Ages has the purple
Rocks of
color.
Ages.
Rocks of
Yeah.
Ages, and you don't see too many people with purple book covers.
Mm.
So like that's you right there. You know what I'm talking about? That's your color, man.
Yes, I resonate
Yeah,
with
you the
purple.
unofficial purple pill. Hold
But
on.
truth be told, right? When you study the science of color,
To this day.
there's only three
Yeah.
colors that have no counter indication, meaning you can wear it day after day and it won't have no, like you can't wear blue day after day. You can't wear red day after day. You can't wear yellow day after day. It'll have an impact on your nervous system, you know?
What about
And
black for all of my
uh,
opium
well,
family? What
black's
about?
not a color.
Okay,
Black is a shade.
it's a shade.
And
Interesting.
I don't I don't know. I'm still studying black.
It's
There's
to be
mysteries to
studied.
black.
The
Yeah, there's
mystery of
mysteries
black
to
is to
black. I
be
can't
studied.
articulate, you
I
know?
feel you on that. I feel you on.
Yeah. But there's three colors that appear not to have counter indication to them. And
Okay.
that's green, orange, and purple.
Mm.
Yeah. Like you could just wear them and they're gonna just, you can wear it day after day
Gonna
and
be all right.
yeah,
We
you'll
gonna
be all right.
we gonna
So
be all right.
yeah. Green, orange, and purple.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I gotta keep that tucked in my back pocket
Uh,
and whatnot. Yeah, man. So what's good though, man? How you been? How's everything? How's Philly? How's your calendar year been? You know
wow.
what I'm
Well,
talking
I
about?
have to say, I've in a word out of commission. 24,
Yes.
24 was definitely a tumultuous year for me.
It's one of them ones.
It was one of them ones.
I feel you
And
on that.
a lot of uh I had to kind of retrench to giving a lot of time, energy, focus, and attention to my family and my own health, you know?
Yes.
And that's what I've done in 24. So I had a lot of visions. I know me and you were gonna do a lot with the what's that thing called? Uh I was gonna get the whole sign up and going deep on
Right.
prophecy, and I had
Right.
different visions of what I was going to do for the year. You
Okay.
know, uh,
Oh.
at the end of the year, those things haven't been accomplished, but I learned a lot, grew a lot, and I'm still here.
That's
So
right.
I give
And
thanks. I give
when it
thanks
comes
through it all. We standing
always,
tall.
always standing tall. I
Yeah.
could concur with your sentiments because 2024 is it's been going so fast. Like, keep in mind, this is the quantum quickening. And
Mm,
if you try to run with it, you know what I mean, chances are you could slip up and trip up, you know what I mean? A lot of people that I know, they basically have been what they call out of the way, staying out of the way.
uh,
And like you said, focusing on what needs the most focus. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
That is self. You know what I mean?
yes.
This has been a very self-actualizing year for a lot of people, where they came into a lot of truths about
Mm,
themselves.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
it's really hard to get to that when you're outside and when you're running and when you're on a hamster wheel and when there's so much noise and whatnot. So a word that I would describe 2024 for me would be seclusion.
uh.
You know,
Yeah,
seclusion. Like I
yeah.
stay out of the way.
I've been in my turtle shell for sure.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
And that's a
and
good thing.
I can't. Hey, I mean, I learned a lot. I
That's
learned a
right.
lot. What can I say? You know,
That's right.
at the end
Likewise.
of the
We
day,
here.
that's what we're here to do.
We here to learn.
We're here to learn. And
You know what I
so,
mean?
you
Here to
know,
learn.
and but as far as my like what do you say, public works,
Yes.
I think the last time I was really did anything was the 2024, the prophetic visions of 2024, the prophetic stage of 24,
Right.
and the 24 astrological view, you know?
Mm.
And
Matter of
I'm
fact,
looking,
I see you in Atlanta.
yes,
Was at the
I
gathering
did.
of the
I was
masters.
at, that's right. I did have, I was
Popped
at
out.
that, what was it called? The
Gathering of the
Gathering
masters.
of the Masters. I
Yeah.
was there. I didn't
Good to
speak, I vended.
That was good to see you nonetheless. You know what I
It was
mean?
an
For
honor.
those,
It was an
yeah,
honor. It was
yeah,
an
your
honor to be
presence,
there. Salute to
salute.
everyone, Brother Rich, and all the wise
Yeah,
minds that brought that together.
pantheon. It was the
Yeah, yeah,
pantheon
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of teachers and scholars and just and the people as well. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. The
Yeah, they helped my heart.
congregation of the,
Congregation, and they uplifted my soul.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So that was a high honor.
Indeed.
And yeah, we live and growing and learning and evolving and loving through it all, brother.
You already. You feel me? You
Yeah.
already.
And so when you reached out, and I will say, and I'm thankful, a lot of people have been reaching out in this season. Like,
Okay.
what's up,
Yeah, yeah.
Ross?
It was
You
popping.
know? What so I was still on the I was still in my turtle shell and like, am I gonna come out? But you know
Hmm.
what? When the red pillar said, yo, what's up?
Yes, yes. You know I ain't coming to waste your time. You know what I'm talking
Hey,
about?
hey, 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 if you asking, I'm out the shell. I'm right here. We're going,
Hmm.
and when you say you want the reason on, now, when you say you want the reason on free your mouth, right? If I'm honest, I feel I've chopped up with the KTL community a lot on free your mouth to
Yes.
the point where I feel like we've already dropped the keys that ones would need to decipher the energy grid where they live, you know, how to
Yes.
read the art, architecture, archetype symbols in their city, how to cite out the high points and what's on them, and, you know, how's their city oriented with the geomagnetic grid,
Mm,
how's their city laid out. You know, we dropped all them keys.
we did.
And it was like, if we was to talk about the freeing your mind, we'd have to take it to the next level.
Yes.
We'd have to talk about the global mound matrix and give
Yes.
ones the keys to overstanding how the like how you just hit roll call. right? And named all them names where people tuned in, right? And we know most of them, if not all of them, you got them tuned into their mound and tuned in to the energy grid that their city is tapping into,
The
and
ley line.
the ley lines, the vortexes, all that, right?
Facts. Mm-hmm.
But where them ley lines going? How do they fit into the bigger global mound matrix
Right.
and the energy grid of the earth?
Right.
And how should we understand that? And I felt like, you know what? If we're going to talk about freeing the mound,
I'm gonna do a deep dive.
let's go do a deep dive. So that's what we're here to build on tonight, Brethren.
That's right. That's right. You know, it's a Thursday. I remember when I was in school, Thursday was Science Day.
Uh,
I mean, Thursday was the day. I was one of those. I love me some science. I love me social studies. I love me some biology. You feel
uh,
me?
uh,
So
uh,
Thursdays, and I think art
uh.
was also on Thursdays too. So it was just one of them days, you know.
Tapping into
So
that Jupiterian,
that Jupiterian. So I said, you know
expansive
what? Yeah, I said,
Sagittarius
you feel
energy.
me?
And we in the Sagittarian time zone, aren't we?
We definitely are. Shout out to all of the Sages in the building.
Yeah. And I got a Sag moon.
I got a Sag wife. How about that?
Uh.
Yeah, Sag is you know, they do their thing.
Yeah, and their color's purple. We
Let me find
just been
those
talking about that purple frequency.
purple frequency.
Yeah.
So when we do this roll call, like it was just it's always been speaking to me because in my mind I'm calling out these cities and whatnot, and I'm like, it is of no coincidence that these are all major grids. You feel
Oh,
me?
yes,
These are
right.
all major grids. Like people could be like Boise, Idaho. You know what I mean? I'm from over here. I'm from over there. It's like no, they're literally tapping in from the places that I've either visited or I want to visit to tap into that grid
Right.
because when I go places, it works on my DNA. Like right now is Art Basel in Miami. Okay. And even my mama, she used to tell me, she'd be like, yo, Miami is the best place for you because you'll come back from Miami glowing and whatnot. Like Miami is great for you. And it's like the minute I get off of that plane and take and just smell and just breathe, it feels like it just my DNA starts to upgrade. I look better in the mirror. You know what I mean?
So
Like I
look,
feel better.
when we start talking about the grid,
Yes,
bring up South Florida.
I will.
Make sure we talk about South Florida and the grid.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
Because you know, I got a whole crew of geomancers down there.
I already know. Y'all went and did that work down there too in the summertime.
Yeah, we just already penetrated the Great Mystery Miami, Magic City.
Yes, Magic City for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Florida is definitely a vibe, man. Shout out to all the Floridians. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know, I guess, man, I don't know if y'all know what y'all have in the land of flowers, but you know, definitely shout out to y'all. Shout out to the ladies in
They know what they got down there.
They know what they got. They know what they got. You know what I'm talking about? Even Trump had to go down there to power up. You feel me? You know? But let's get to it, man. You know, it's
all right,
no
so you
better
say you was
time than
gonna
the
open
now.
it up, right?
That's a fact. You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying?
So I'm
we're
gonna
get
fall
right
back and
into
listen and learn and grow and evolve with I'm gonna take the red pill.
it. And then I'm gonna pass the ball to you. You feel me? We're
All right.
gonna run this play. You know what I'm
All
talking about?
right. Give
All
thanks.
right. So let's get right into it, family. We are currently in class right now. Okay. We're gonna be learning about the global mound matrix. Please take notes. This PDF will be available on Buy Me a Coffee for all of my studious ones, all of my students that want this as a study guide. Let's go. All right. Ooh, let me see. Let me see something. Reincarnated. All right, give me 1 minute. I might have to, because I'm looking at the borders and whatnot, and it don't look like the borders are in place. Okay, give me 1 second.
As you doing that, right?
Yes.
You was talking about the quickening and how fast time is moving.
Super fast.
Some elders had told me the faster time moves, the slower we gotta be.
I'm trying to tell you, bruh, man,
Yeah. Like
that's a
I was
bar right there.
told that by some elders long time ago. They ancestors now, they in the heavens.
That's right.
And yeah, salute Wandering Feather, Ron Wandering Feather. Here, a long time ago.
Dope. And they put you on the game.
Yeah.
Because
So I just wanted to affirm, because that was the context you were speaking about, the quickening.
yeah, nah, I want to add on to that because I'm one of those. I'm an extrovert and I'm known to be outside. I move around. I'm always into something. And when I started falling back, I had to fight myself. Like, nah, you got to stay in the house, bro. Stay with the fam. You know what I mean? Stay working on your craft, perfect, your channel and stuff like that. And I had to fight myself because I wanted to run around and I wanted to chase time and whatnot. And I realized that's not the way to do it. You know what I mean? You really need to just fall back sometimes and appreciate the now and appreciate what it is, because this quickening, this quantum quickening that we're in is forcing us to see something differently than how we've been seeing things in that rat race and on that hamster wheel. So I'm appreciative. But yeah, let's get to it. I exported it as a movie. The global mound matrix refers to the idea that ancient mound structures, pyramids, and sacred sites around the world are part of a deliberate, interconnected network designed for spiritual, energetic, and geodetic purposes. This concept intertwines geomancy, divination, and energy manipulation through the earth, and geodetic sciences, the study of Earth's shape, gravitational field, and spatial orientation, to explore how these sites influence human consciousness and planetary energy. Okay. Let's just go through the historical context of global mound matrix. This is a science, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what is known as speculative. This is not pseudoscience. This is real, although it's been hidden from us. Why? Because the people who designed these cities, the people who have designed this quote unquote new world, they were the ones who disrupted the old world, and they were the ones who took advantage of the energy grid and the ley lines and the global mound matrix. And that's why they quote unquote do what they do and run things the way that they do. So of course they would not reveal the science. This is a hidden science. Historical context of the global mound matrix. Ancient civilizations and mound building. Mound building practices span continents, from the Mississippian mounds in North America, the pyramids of Egypt and Mesoamerica, the Neolithic structures like Stonehenge and the Nabta Playa. Each is often aligned with astronomical markers, ley lines, and geodetic points. Sacred geometry and earth energy. Many of these sites incorporate sacred geometric ratios, such as the golden ratio or pi, in their construction. This suggests knowledge of how geometry influences the earth's energy fields, channeling telluric currents, earth's natural electric currents. And I just want to put on a record that when me and Blue Pill visited the Serpent Mounds in Ohio, this was the calendar year of 2010. We went with our good brother Noble and Pooh out of Philadelphia, and my life changed after that, right? Forever. It was an upgrade. that I never turned back from. And we went to Stone Mountain for the very first time, not just to climb the mountain, but to do a ritual on the mountain. And that increased the energy, that created downloads, that just changed everything for me. My whole frequency was uplifted because we tapped into these ley lines. And matter of fact, the Etowah Mounds in Cartersville, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, about an hour, Ghetto Shaman, my good brother Ghetto Shaman, introduced us to the Etowah Mounds, and we did a ritual and we tapped into barefoot grounding. You know what I mean? All of that, buried our crystals in the mound, did everything that you can do. And I didn't even have all of the science back then, but it shifted and it changed me forever. So I'm just throwing that out there. Yes, so let's continue. All right, so this is a depiction of what the Etowah Mounds looked like when the civilization was thriving and whatnot. This is a mound structure, okay, a earthen mound structure. As you can see, when you're on a highway and you're seeing some of these pyramid structures that are covered by trees and dirt and whatnot, some of them are mounds that have been covered up and whatnot. And as Ras Ben breaks it down in his book, Free Your Mound and Your Mind Will Follow, the majority of these mounds were excavated and destroyed. You have burial mounds and ceremonial mounds, and they basically destroyed them, took the things that were inside of them, like giant skeletons, copper, gold, gemstones, and things of that nature. These Europeans that are selling us a lot of the crystals and things of that nature, some of them have retrieved that from excavations and mounds and things of that nature, and caves and things of that nature, and they sell it back to us. So here's another image of the Cahokia Mounds. All right, very sacred, very powerful. Like we were saying, these are aligned. All right, sacred geometry. Okay, yeah, turn them into golf courses. Exactly. This is the Serpent Mound that you see right here in the Ohio Valley. If you live in the Ohio Valley, Cleveland, Newark, other places, Columbus, I definitely highly suggest you make this a family trip. Okay, go and make this a family trip. This changed my frequency forever. Just going and walking on the mound, just walking along it, just touching it. You know what I mean? We didn't have to do nothing super special, just showing up. So geomancy and the Global Mound Network. Ley lines and geomantic alignments. Ley lines are theoretical straight energy pathways connecting sacred sites across the globe. They align with geomantic principles, suggesting that ancient builders placed mounds to harmonize Earth's energy grid. Notable ley lines include St. Michael's Line, that's in the UK. A line connecting monasteries, mounds, and megalithic sites from Ireland to Israel. I'm going to repeat that again. St. Michael's Line, a line connecting monasteries, mounds, and megalithic sites from Ireland to Israel. Serpent Mound ley line in the USA. This
is it real or Israel?
Is it real? So somebody should do like an Anthony Bourdain type of show where they basically travel into these ley lines and these mounds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm giving some of my fellas out there some game. When you do the balloon popping shows and the girl be like, what will you do on the first date? I'm gonna take you to a mound, ma, to a mound. Yeah. They won't pop the balloon, but Serpent Mound ley line. This connects various Native American mounds like Serpent Mound in Ohio, aligning with celestial patterns. It aligns with the Big Dipper. Okay. Dowsing and earth energies. Geomancers often use dowsing rods to detect subtle energy fields at mound sites, identifying vortex points where Earth's energy is concentrated. These points are considered gateways for spiritual energy or portals to higher dimensions. So go and look up dowsing rods. I'm sure you can find that on Amazon. The science, geodetic science, and the Mound network. Earth grid theory. Geodetic science suggests that ancient cultures understood Earth's energy grid and placed mounds at nodal points where energy converges. This grid is often represented as a combination of isohedral and dodecahedral patterns, with sacred sites strategically built at these intersections. I don't know if y'all remember when we were breaking down the platonic solids and things of that nature. That's what they're talking about. Geospatial orientation and astronomy. Many mounds and pyramids exhibit precise astronomical alignments. Cardinal points. Structures often align with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west. For example, the Great Pyramid of Giza is almost perfectly aligned to true north. Equinoxes and solstices. Mounds like Newgrange in Ireland are aligned with the winter solstice, allowing sunlight to illuminate the interior, symbolizing cosmic cycles and Earth's rhythm. Who remembers Indiana Jones, the first one, Raiders of the Ark? And Raiders of the Ark, they showed you the alignment that they had where he stood inside of the pyramid, and based off and the alignment hit the crystal perfectly and whatnot. There's something in Manhattan called Manhattan Hedge, and that's the alignment in there and whatnot. There's a day where there's a perfect alignment and it goes straight through the city and whatnot, and people are lined up to receive that energy. That's something that they don't tell us about. You know what I mean? But they always there to get that. You heard that pendulums could act as devices to find ley lines. Yeah. Here's another depiction of mound civilizations and what it looked like when the structures were functional before they were destroyed and excavated and whatnot. Here's a community. Here is the community. In the far back, you see the ceremonial mound, right? Where the quote unquote chief would live on the top of the mound and whatnot. And it was sacred. You could not necessarily just be running up on there and whatnot. They had ceremonial mounds and they had burial mounds. So we didn't have cemeteries. We had burial mounds. Okay. We didn't bury our people in cemeteries. We were buried in the mounds on the ley lines and on the grids. Geodetic science and Mound network. Earth grid theory. Geodetic science suggests that ancient cultures understood Earth's energy grid and placed mounds at nodal points where energy converges. This grid is often represented as a combination of, I said that already, geospatial, equinoxes. Okay, we already read this. So this is the Earth's grid system. Only the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, is located at the crossing of the 30th east-west line north of the equator and the 90th north-south line west of the prime meridian. Okay. Shout out to my New Orleans family and why it's so powerful and sacred. Lines of latitude cross lines of longitude at right angles. Although only a few lines of latitude and longitude are shown on globes and maps, their number is infinite. Okay. Spiritual and energetic implications. Activation of consciousness. The placement of mounds on energy nodes is believed to amplify spiritual practices, heightening human consciousness. Ancient ceremonies held at these mounds could have activated collective awareness through resonance with Earth's energy fields. That's why they don't want us to pull up to the mounds. Even when we went to Etowah and we were deep, they called the popo on us and whatnot. You feel me? They did not want too many of us on the mound structure and whatnot. Because we was, you know what I'm saying? We was beating on drums, smoking that devil's lettuce, you know what I mean? Chanting and whatnot. And them white folks, them pale people got real, no disrespect, but they are the people who work there. They obviously are caretakers and they know, we got to keep this shit to we got to keep it as a tourist site. We ain't gonna be allowing these people to reactivate this energy, but we did it anyway. Healing and resonance. Some mounds are thought to emit healing frequencies. The belief is that Earth's natural electromagnetic field interact with the human biofield, promoting physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. um on Brother Rich's channel and on the lecture circuit, when I did the lecture with Blue and with my good brother Q Reeves, I was getting into the quote unquote the magnetic field that all human beings have, right? Every single organ in your body is an organism that has an electric field, an electromagnetic field and whatnot. Our dis-ease, when we become dis-eased and whatnot, it is a result of our magnetic field being compromised and things of that nature. And it's been said that you can heal your aura and you can heal your magnetic field by going to places like the ocean, right? When you go to places, when you get in like the pool and whatnot, that is going against your voltage. You know what I mean? That's why they say we should ground in nature. We should get in the water, the real water, not the chlorophene. Okay. Instead of having an AC blasting, real air, things like that. We have to get back to nature, because nature is where health is. So this is a book that you could tap into by Rory Duff. Example of mound systems across the globe. North America, Serpent Mound, built in alignment with the constellation Draco. It reflects the cosmic serpent symbolism found worldwide. Cahokia Mounds, Illinois, the largest prehistoric city north of Mexico, with mounds aligned to Solstice Point. So you wonder why they got Chicago under the you know what I mean? You wonder why Illinois is underneath the spell that is underneath sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Because of the history.
And St. Louis.
And St. Louis. Right.
Cahokia is very close to St. Louis.
Facts. You know what I'm talking about? Nabta Playa in Egypt, considered one of the oldest astronomical observatories. Its stone circles align with the summer solstice and the Sirius rising. In Asia, in Indonesia, in Borobudur, this massive pyramid-like structure follows sacred geometry and is oriented to reflect Buddhist cosmology and Earth's axial tilt. Okay. Modern applications and revival, geoengineering and energy work. Modern researchers and spiritual practitioners are reviving geomantic principles to realign Earth's energy grid through intentional ceremonies, architecture, and geomagnetic mapping. Geomancy and urban planning. Some architects integrate geodetic principles in modern city planning, believing that harmonizing urban layouts with Earth's natural energy fields can improve well-being and societal harmony. So, you know, if they could do that, they could do the opposite as well. Okay. Henceforth, why cities, you have certain murder cities or certain cities of killing fields and whatnot, because they're manipulating the energy by manipulating the frequency and things of that nature. Okay, so here is my good brother Ross Benz. We're gonna pass the ball, you know what I mean? We're gonna dish it to the guard so he could get into his bag.
Thank you, Gretchen. So, well, I'm glad I took the red pill. That's all I could say. And your articulation of the global bound matrix was impeccable. You know, set the proper stage, because
I'm the greatest. Come on now.
I feel like your KTL community have been studying how to free your mind, free your mound, or free your mind. You know, they at the plateau. Like I kind of introduced it by saying this, but I'm gonna just re-articulate that we've given them the keys to being able to science where they are, where the mounds are in their like, you know, living environment, and where the energy centers are in their environment, as well as whatever geomantic spell their city is putting on the people, you know, through the art, architecture, and archetype symbols peppered throughout their environment.
Right.
We done given them keys, but we ain't really reasoned too much on the global Mound matrix, how it all comes together.
Right.
And your articulation of what ley lines are, the earth grid, how they all come together, foundational definitions and articulations and terminology, you know? And if I could, I'm gonna just build on what you left off on, right?
Yes.
All cities have what we would call geopathic stress. So, you know, the word pathy means dis-ease.
Yes.
So geopathy is any stressors of the earth environment you're in, okay? It can be a void of magnetic energy, which a lot of cities are. It can be voids or excess gravity, actually. Not voids, but excess gravity. You know, everything's heavier, right? Shit's just heavy there, you know?
Right.
And their use of the, you know, if you figure they got a big metal resonant statue or big metal resonant antenna on top of whatever is scraping the sky, whatever buildings are the highest ones touching the ionosphere, which is in resonance with the beta and delta waves of your brain. Come on now. Stage is set for geopathic stress and, you know, what we would call urban geomancy, you know, using the urban design as a means of control. So we done science that with Free Your Mind and Your Mind Will Follow. And we done reason on that with KTL and them built with this community on them sciences, you know? But again, how should we look at the global Mound matrix and how it all comes together? And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Give us a indigenous, natural, geodetic reference point, latitude and longitude. What's the correct? We know we're on an artificial timeline, right? We're in an artificial space frame too.
Yep.
Because, and why that's important, we know in our more in-depth study of time, right? And our more in-depth study of space, that they're actually an interrelated phenomena called space-time. And you can't really factor space without factoring time and vice versa. So if ones are going to manipulate a timeline, they got to manipulate the space frame in which that, you know, created timeline will exist.
Right.
So this is where Earth grid science fits in with another thing, another phenomenon we've been looking at, which is that time manipulation, you know? So we're going to hit them. We're going to, you know, we ain't hitting them full force tonight, but I've been not heard or seen in a year. My return is going to be worthwhile, you know? That's what we're going to hit them with tonight. So our indigenous frame of reference is going to be Enoch, the book of Enoch. So just as Enoch is the first prophet, and Enoch laid out the original prophetic timeline, Enoch also explained the original space frame geodetically on how we're supposed to view Earth's magnetic fields, sacred sites, ley lines, vortexes, and how they all come together. Okay? So Enoch learned these sciences from his tour from the angels, who not only gave him a tour to 7 heavens, but he gave him a tour to 7 hells, right? And to enter the earth, to enter the underworld, to enter the hells, the realms in the earth, also known as Sheol, Amenta, the Duat, Shambhala, the underworld has many names known by many cultures, right? They took Enoch to a place that has several names, 7 reference points. We call it today Mount Ruwenzori. It's in the Democratic Republic of Congo, also known as the Mountains of the Moon. But we're going to talk about what Enoch named it and what it meant. So this is where Enoch entered Sheol, entered the underworld. And that's what this first graphic is showing us, Mount Ruwenzori. All right? And I think it's, this is the paragraph from Enoch, the book of Enoch, when he's talking about what he saw entering the first hell, you know? But next slide, my brethren. So he said this place, he gave this place many names, right? One, he said it was a mountain whose summit reached the heavens. The mountain whose summit reached the heavens, you remember that? He also called it the cornerstone of the earth. Okay? And we're going to talk about the importance of that. And that's really the 2 names we're really going to focus on tonight. He gave it other names, but the idea that it was the mountain whose summit reached the heavens. Now let's talk about that for a minute.
Indeed.
All right. So now, those who study, who study the earth, right? Whether you want to call it geometry, the measure of the earth, right? Or geography, right? We're told that Mount Everest is the tallest mountain peak from sea level to its peak, right? But Mount Everest is not the mount whose summit reaches the heavens. It's Mount Ruwenzori. Go forward, brethren. Let me see the next slide. Yeah, here we go. When you factor in what's called equatorial bulge. Okay? And I know different ones will say, oh, it's a flat earth. You know, I'm not going to get into that debate tonight, right? But I would say the ancients factored what we would call an equatorial bulge in the shape of the fabric of the earth.
Right.
Okay? And if you factor the equatorial bulge, the part of the earth that sticks out the farthest and is, as a result, closest to the ionosphere, and is the first part of the earth that touches solar energy, right? It's this place right here, Mount Ruwenzori. Okay? And so, you know, that's it. That's important. This makes this the most in my study. Okay? Other people might have different opinions. Okay? But when we look at the global mound matrix, it's the most important mound and the most important point on the global mound matrix that there is. Because it's the mountain whose point reaches, whose summit reaches the heavens, reaches the ionosphere. Okay? So now, Enoch, it took Enoch on the tour to 7 heavens as well. So the first heaven, in my opinion, is the atmosphere. It's like Enoch was flying around in like a helicopter because the things he describes seeing on his tour of the first heaven are trees, like tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
And tree of life. Enoch saw all of them on his tour to first heaven. It was when Enoch got to the second heaven, which to me seemed like the ionosphere, because this is a heaven that was like in the clouds and where ancestors live. It kind of reminded me of that Tupac video when, was that, I Ain't Laughing at You? Is that one?
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excuse my lack of hip hop. You know, my lack, you know, I'm an old man, you know, I'm showing my age and shit. But yeah, I ain't mad at you when like you knock Tupac's in the, because he describes the second heaven as the couches and habitations of saints and holy ones, right? And it's like ancestors and ascended masters chilling on couches and, you know, like doing their works for us here on earth. They ain't going to the seventh heaven. They ain't going to no higher heavens, right? They just kind of hanging out here in the earth, you know, they in the spirit realm, they in the energy realm, but they're on the earth plane, the ionosphere.
Second heaven.
The second heaven, right?
Yep.
So Mount Ruwenzori, this most important mound on planet Earth, in my opinion, right? Which we're going to see is also named the cornerstone of Earth. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the vortexual energy of this mound, it's like all other mounds, wherever you at. Here I am in the filthy, you down in the ATL, the New Atlantis, wherever you at.
Yes, sir.
On the roll call, this mound right here is where, as far as the Earth grid, the global mound matrix, our energy is kind of connected and filtered through this mound right here, Mount Ruwenzori. So we got to know what it is.
So
Okay,
this is the 0 0 point.
there's a 0 0 point on the
Wow.
reference grid, and that's why not called it the cornerstone of the earth. So let me see some of the other slides, brethren. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. All right. So what is, all right. So now part in your reasoning, which I love, right? Because you spoke about geodetic awareness and geomancy.
Yeah, both
What's
of them.
the, yeah, what's the difference? And what, well, geomancy, if we study it etymologically, right? Mancy means to know. Geo means the earth. So geomancy is about knowing the earth. And geodesy, or geodesy, geomantic science, we experience it today as the study of latitude and longitude. Okay? How is the earth grid measured and displayed on a representation of the earth? And how I'm on the 40th degree of latitude, right? I'm on the 40th parallel up here in the filthy, right? And what you on, the 33rd in the ATL? What you on, right?
Third.
33rd, right. So that whole science we would call geodesy, right? Or geodetic science, right? Now, this is how this is our space frame. How we was talking about how they had to throw off the space frame to fuck up the timeline, right? So the way they geodetically eschewed the space frame is they changed the prime meridian. Okay? So the prime meridian now, the 0 degree of latitude, is the Greenwich meridian, which runs through Greenwich, England, which is a mound in England, right? Greenwich Observatory is on top of Greenwich Mound. So they made this the global mound matrix 0 degree of longitude reference point. But that was not the original 0 degree longitude reference point. Okay? The original 0 degree reference point is 30 degrees east now. Okay? And if we take what's 30 degrees east straight down to the equator, where is that? Mount Ruwenzori. Okay? So Mount Ruwenzori was the original 0 0 reference point geodetically. Okay? We already said because it was the summit of the earth, it was the most important mound, right? We're also telling you the way that was expressed in our original space frame awareness of the earth grid was also the original 0 0 reference point. You with me? Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
All
Yeah, what
right.
up? Put
Hey,
a one in the
next
chat if
slide.
you with
Go
us.
to the next slide real quick.
Yes. Put a one in the chat if y'all are with us. You know what I mean? We don't want to lose y'all.
All right. I want to bring this to everyone's awareness while we're talking about 30 degrees east. So what is important about 30 degrees east? That is the same degree of latitude that the Giza complex is on in Egypt. So in other words, if we were standing at the Giza complex and we took that straight to the equator, where we're going to be, Ruwenzori. Okay? And so this is the most obvious example of how the global mound matrix, global pyramid matrix was aligned ultimately with Ruwenzori. Y'all with me?
Nah, it's a bunch of ones in the chat. They with us.
All right.
They
All
here.
right.
They taking notes. You feel
All
me?
right. All right. So let's go to the second slide, brethren, because I know we jumping all around.
Okay. Let's go.
This is it? Nah,
Yep.
back it up. Go to like
Oh, to where
this
we
like
were.
in the presentation. Let's go back to the second slide there.
Okay.
All right.
This is the second one.
There we go. There we go. So yeah, so those are the different names that we find this most important mound spoken of in the book of Enoch. All right. That it was the summit whose summit, the mountain whose touches the
Touches the
heavens,
heavens. Yes.
and the cornerstone of the earth, meaning it was the original 00 reference point geodetically. Okay. And, you know, as we study the global mound matrix and we study wherever you at, the roll call, wherever you at, you want to study yourself, your city, your location in relation to other sacred sites that, you know, is probably near and around you, right?
Yes.
But also this reference point. Okay. All right, next slide. All right, so all right, I've already built on that this is currently it's the 30-degree longitude, 0-degree latitude. Originally, it was a 0-degree longitude, 0-degree latitude, right? And you know, we'll build if the creator says, yeah, y'all need to build more on it, we can explore the other names of it as far as it being in the desert of the Dudawel and it being by where the mouths of all the rivers being near these rift lakes, you know, we could build on that, right? But what I wanted to focus on with the global mount matrix is it being the cornerstone of the earth and summit whose the mountain whose summit reaches the heavens,
Right.
you know, because of its vortexual importance. And so that's really it, Brethren. I know to keep it, I ain't want to like I know to make it more build than a lecture when I
Yes.
come on the KTL. So I just wanted to drop that jewel.
I want to
And
show them the actual mountain, the beauty
please
of
do.
yes.
Please do.
Get into it, y'all. Let's look at the mountain so we could visualize the greatness. You know, often when we hear about Africa, because of Hollywood and Hollyweird and, you know, the education system, they got us effed up. You know what I mean? We don't even visualize mountains in Africa. We can't even, you know, we don't visualize the beauty of it. So this is what you will see when you visit that mountain. You know what I mean? You know, it is open to visitors, correct?
Well, I know a brethren who actually went there,
Yes.
right? And he, the way he ran it down, the experience was arduous, you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Arduous.
he, like life and death
Mm,
was, you know,
was
like,
jumping.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like, you know,
one of those.
grace of God, the angels and ancestors is what got him in and out. And they
Yeah.
able to tell the story, you know? So,
Damn. Okay.
uh,
I mean, I like shit like that, I guess.
yeah.
The
Now,
daringness.
now, Mount Ruwenzori is part of a mountain complex, right? The Ruwenzori Mountains. The specific mount where like some ancient mystical shit went down,
Yes.
that would be a whole nother reasoning. It's called Mount Hoya.
Mount Koya.
Hoya.
Yeah.
Hoya.
Hoya.
So, so there's parts of the Ruwenzori Mountains you could get to easier
Than others.
than others. Exactly. It's Mount Hoya where, huh?
I'm gonna give him a little bit of information on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So,
The Ruwenzori is a better
yeah.
pronounce. Ruwenzori Mountains National Park is a protected area in western Uganda, covering the area of approximately 996 square kilometers, which is 385 square miles, at a height of 1,600 meters above sea level. The Ruwenzori Mountains, also known as the Mountains of the Moon, are located on the border between western Uganda and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and are home to Uganda's highest point at 5,109 meters, which is 16,762 feet. Mount Ruwenzori has the fifth highest peak in Africa, Margeti Peak, on Mount Stanley, that is named after the journalist and explorer Sir Henry Morton Stanley.
Mm.
Mount Ruwenzori was formed by the tectonic activity of the East African Rift System. Over millions of years, the region's geological processes, including uplift, folding, and glacial activity, have contributed to the rugged terrain, unique glaciers, and distinctive landscape of the the Ruwenzori Mountains. The mountain is famous for its unique glaciers, stunning landscapes, and the rich cultural and ecological history and wildlife surrounding them. These mountains are shrouded in myths and mysteries, many of which are rooted in the indigenous cultures of the region. The Ruwenzoris were named the Mountains of the Moon by the Alexandrine geographer Ptolemy in AD 150. Henry Morton Stanley, a British explorer, placed the Ruwenzori on a map on the 24th of May, 1888, and labeled it Ruwenzori, a local name which he recorded as meaning rainmaker or cloud king, since the ancient Greeks believed these mountains to be source of the Nile River.
Yeah.
The original name of the mountain was Ruwenzori, but due since it gave hard times to foreigners to pronounce, Ruwenzori has replaced the original name. How do they know everything? I be like, would they? How is they everywhere without airplanes, bro? Like
Mm.
this, you know what I mean?
But hey, that was a good review. But we could have a whole nother episode on the we say the place this Ruwenzori Mountains holds in Kemetic, Zulu, and other Bantu speakers of the
Right,
region, uh, as well as other cultures, mythological and cosmological stories of creation.
mm,
We've just talked today about its place in Enoch, right?
right.
But oh man, the lore associated with this place is, you know, worthy of a whole nother episode for real.
Nah, yeah.
Especially it being the mountains of the moon. And
Yes,
because I will say, it wasn't no Ptolemaic pharaohs who named it the mountains of the moon. This goes back further in Kemetic cosmology, Egyptian cosmology, how it earned the name Mountains of the Moon.
right.
And some wild stuff happened here too,
I can imagine.
as
I
far
can
as
imagine.
what got us on this current timeline of, you know, the timeline manipulation
Big
had to
manipulation.
had to, like I say, the space frame had to be tied, interrelated to the space frame manipulation.
Mm,
And this is a pivotal point for it all.
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, so how many people in the building are avid fans of what they call Harry Potter? How many people in the building are avid fans of the Harry Potter books by J.K. Rowling, I believe? All right. So if you are fans of Harry Potter and you remember the Harry Potter mythology and whatnot, then you'll be familiar with the mountain because Mount Riwenzori, right, is featured in the Hogwarts Legacy. Okay. And this was the mountain that housed the Ugadu School of Magic, right? And it was the African Wizarding School. It's located in the mountains of the moon in western Uganda. It accepted students from all over Africa and was actually the largest wizarding school in the world. Although Africa has a number of smaller wizarding schools, there is only one that has stood the test of time, at least 1,000 years, and achieved an inevitable international reputation, Ugadu, right? So, for all of my fantasy brothers and sisters out there, go ahead and tap into that. You know what I mean? Go and do your deep dive and whatnot. And also remember that Burkina Faso and these areas are witnessing a revolution right now. They have taken their power back, okay? And those people are said to be protected by a higher power, dodging all type of assassination attempts by the Americans, the Israelis, and the French. Okay? So they're working with something over there. But yeah, that's the Harry Potter history on it. Ooh, well, I probably am hacking the pronunciation. If anybody knows the proper pronunciation, help me. You know, visitors to the school spoke of a stunning edifice carved out of the mountains and shrouded in mist. so that it sometimes appears simply to float in midair.
Mm.
It was founded at least 1,000 years before the lifetime of Harry Potter, making it roughly the same age as Hogwarts, perhaps even older. Although a number of smaller wizarding schools could be found throughout Africa, only Ugadu stood the test of time and achieved an inevitable international reputation. One notable graduate of Ugado was Babajad Akingbe, who succeeded the Supreme Mogwamp of the International Confederation of Wizards. Another student from Ugadu also competed in the Wizarding Schools Potion Championship. The reputation of the school, they were famously skilled in astronomy, alchemy, and self transfiguration, turning into all kind of things. Wands were primarily a European invention, and although African wizards did adapt them as useful tools, Ugadu students preferred to cast spells simply by pointing their fingers or through other types of hand gestures like mudras. This technique gave them a sturdy line of defense when accused of breaking the international statute of secrecy. They could say they were simply making a random gesture and not intending to do magic. Recruitment. Students receive notice of their acceptance to Ugadu through dream messengers. Okay? Dream messengers. Somebody just said something about the dream state and whatnot, where they were visiting through the dream. Okay. Maximus Rising said you might have gone there while you slept. So for anybody in the audience who visited something like this in the mountains, a school filled with wizards and whatnot, chances are, you might have been tapping into that whole astral realm of your higher selves and whatnot. Okay. So you will receive your recruitment through dream messengers sent by the headmaster or headmistress of the day. The dream messenger appeared to the child as they slept and will leave a token, usually an inscribed stone. Rocks of Ages.
Mm.
I remember waking up seeing stones when I was younger too. And I'm like, Mama, did you? To be found in a child's hand upon waking. Ugadu was the only school that employed this method of student notification. Subjects. Astronomy was one of the subjects presumably taught at Ugadu, as Ugadu students had a reputation for being skilled in astronomy. Alchemy was presumably another subject taught, as the students had a reputation for being skilled in alchemy as well. Transfiguration was also presumably taught, as the students had a reputation for being skilled in self transfiguration. And Mudiwa or Nai taught divination at Ugadu in the late 19th century, indicating the subject existed in its curriculum. Can you share some stories about Credo Mutwa, please? And what he said about the mountains of the moon?
Well, you have Credo tell it. This is where a big manipulation of humanity occurred to put us on this current timeline where a being that the locals know as non-God, the ones who live in this region, they call him non-God. We know this being in Egypt, in the Egyptian pantheon as Ptah. We know this being in the Sumerian pantheon as Enki. We know this being in, I guess you would say, Judeo-Christian Islamic traditions. It's kind of like Lucifer and Satan. right?
Yes.
They say he's bound in the inner earth here. And Credo says that beyond that, these like inner earth beings who are kind of like you know, like shape-shifting reptilians, I guess would be the best way to describe it,
Yes.
right? These beings from in the earth,
Transfiguration.
huh? Yeah, these beings
Transfiguration.
from in the earth that when they want it can appear human, right?
Right.
Shapeshifters. So he says they came out of the earth at this place and manipulated world leadership and put us on this current timeline, you know?
Right.
So Credo has a lot to say about this mountain and the being in there, Nangai, Ptah, Inky, fallen angel. He's the fallen angel, the Nephilim who slept with
The daughters of
humanity
men.
and yeah,
Right.
daughters of men and you know, taught us uh how to fight, you
Or
know,
war. Right.
weaponry and
Warfare.
war
Right.
and all that.
Amongst a peaceful people.
Yeah, this thing went down right here, according to Credo.
Right. And the
Yeah.
subterranean people who live inside the earth, their entry and exit is through the mountains.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it was said that when these shapeshifters came upon the planet, or when they came upon the terrestrial plane, they kidnapped humans, or they kidnapped Africans or the Congolese and brought them into the inner earth and then resurfaced with the new people, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how Credo accounts for what we would say is the difference between Bantu speakers who are agriculturalists and hunters and gatherers, kind of, right?
Yes.
From who anthropologically are considered Neolithic Africans, who tend to be pastoralists, who tend to tend grazing animals like cattle and, you know, domesticated animals
Right.
that they live off the blood and flesh of, right?
Right.
These pastoralist Credo says were created by Nangai. And Nangai is like their God, their Lord, like, you know.
Mm. I could see it too. You know what I mean? I could visualize that. I could visualize that. That's deep. So, family, real quick, we're gonna take a commercial break, and we have a special announcement that we want to make, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Uh, as we do every year, we are gonna be doing this year again. Our good brother Ras Ben will be returning to do a 2024 year in review. And simultaneously, we're going to be visualizing the 9 year, which is 2025. So if you know anything about prophecies that this brother has been able to bring forward to this channel, he's been able to properly envision what the future was going to be utilizing his sacred sciences and whatnot. He's been doing this for a few years on KTL, giving us the quote unquote calendar of what things are to come or what's to come in the upcoming year and whatnot. So he'll be doing this for 2025. All right. This will be on Monday, December the 30th, ladies and gentlemen, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. This will be on Zoom only. It will be available to our Patreons, and it's also open to the public. I'm going to drop the link right here in the chat. If you want to get your tickets, we have an early bird special. We have an early bird special. So please take advantage of the early bird special. Get your ticket, pull up and be in the building. If tonight's class was any indication to the level of information that we'll be giving y'all, you already know what you have in and you know you know what's coming. You know what I'm talking about? You know what's coming. The brother's gonna bring it. He's gonna be doing his research. He's going to line things up for 2025 through the lens of a master teacher. I look forward to seeing y'all. And of course, I'm gonna be laying it out with my metaphysical lens and whatnot. One of the craziest, most unforgettable years that I've personally lived through, and I'm almost 50. And I promise you, 2024 is one for the record books. So I already started putting my presentation together. And the good brother Ross Ben is going to bring the science, and we're going to be in the building to receive that. So make sure you go ahead and get yourself the early bird ticket, and we will see you when you pull up on Monday, December the 30th, from the hours of 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. But of course, you dig. And you know, we have one more announcement. We have one more announcement. Let me see. And we also have the lecture for the month. That announcement will be made on Monday. All right. We're going to hold that. But we also have a lecture coming this month as well. This is the end of the year. We do this annually. This is our end of the year presentation. But we also have a lecture coming up for this month as well with the good brother. And I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to surprise you. You feel me? So yes, yes, yes. All right. Yeah. So if there are any questions from anybody in the building, please let us know. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm sure that y'all was taking notes, and I'm sure that Ross Ben will be honored and pleased to answer any questions that you may have for him and whatnot. So we'll leave that open. We'll leave that open. But let me go ahead and pull us up. Let me turn this down. All right.
It never fails, brethren.
I know. It never does.
It never does. It's like Ross Fink gets on the ledge. The energy be intense, especially when we be talking about certain shit. It's like we did pretty good tonight, though,
Yes,
because
we did. Yes, we did.
we was able to drop the real nuggets and you know get some
You,
real reasoning on before.
you know the Matrix is going Matrix. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Matrix is going Matrix. I did ask the audience if they have any questions that they want to ask and whatnot. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody drops something in the chat room.
Okay.
And I made the announcement about our New Year's situation that we got coming up, our presentation, our extravaganza. You feel me?
Be an honor. It'll be an
Yeah,
honor.
our extravaganza.
Be an honor,
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
keep the tradition going. And here in
Mhm.
Philly, the One Art community and Sister Crystal Joan, we're gonna do something December 21st at
Yes.
One Art.
Okay.
Uh
Shout out to the One Art community. Salute to
yeah.
them.
Sister Joan salute.
Yes,
So we're gonna
indeed.
do that, and I'm gonna build with you.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
And,
powerful bill.
know the ledge community. What an honor. What an
Yeah,
honor.
what because this year right here, this needs to be explained. This
Ooh,
needs
this
to be
year.
broken
Yeah, we're
down.
gonna review
Hmm.
24 for sure. Right off the bat, we had
Yeah,
said in 24,
Yes,
It's
yes,
gonna be
yes.
all that yang yang. That the
All
yang
that yin
principle
yang.
was gonna be off, and that yin was going on top of that. Yin was gonna be in the house of yang. And I think the way we saw that for like the way it was for the world to see, right? Was
Mm-hmm.
Jill and Joe Biden
Right.
living soap opera, like,
The Jill and Joe Biden show.
the Jill and Joe Biden show. Wow.
Right.
Because Mars was
Right.
conjunct Mercury retrograde at the beginning of last year. So Mars is the male principle.
Right.
We know when Mercury's retrograde, your communication, your cognition, uh, your perception, everything is off,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's the Joe part. And then Venus was in the 8th house, which is a Yang house. It's a house traditionally ruled by Mars, Scorpio house,
Right.
right? So Yin was in the house of Yang because Venus
Mm.
is the feminine principle,
Yin
right?
was in the house
Yin
of
was in the
Yang.
house of Yang.
Dope.
At the same time, Mars was conjunct a Mercury retro, right?
Mm.
So who was running shit? Who was making the decisions? Who was,
It wasn't Joe.
it wasn't Joe.
We know that for a fact. It
It was
wasn't Joe.
Jill.
Jill
And
was running
we're still
shit.
seeing the fallout from that.
Mm.
How what's the boy? Hunter has just been pardoned, and
Mm-hmm.
oh my
You know
God.
that was Jill, and yeah, Jill was like, man, F everything, boy. You better, you know what I mean?
You go
Like
pardon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all took
even
the
if Joe was
presidency away.
apprehensive,
You
Jill
played
was
him
like,
out.
you
At least let him pardon his son. And
right,
that's what went down.
right. So we do have some questions in the chat. Are you ready?
I hope I have some answers.
Ross, what is your take on the recent UFO sightings over DC, etc.?
Well, I haven't got to study it with a fullness.
Right,
But I could tell you what my first initial impression was.
right.
Okay. They pulled all the stops out
Mm,
to keep someone not getting in. The Trumpster,
mm,
right? They're trying to throw the Trumpster in the dumpster.
mm.
And they pulled out all the stops,
They try to throw the Trumps in a dumpster.
right? They pulled out all the stops. And they're left with the final card, the false flag alien invasion.
Right,
That was what my first thought was.
right,
But do I know I'm just a Rasta smoking weed in Philly trying to, make
right.
sense of the chaos in my life? I don't know.
That's right.
But my eyes are open. I'm paying attention. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a false flag alien invasion,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
Because they pulling out all the stops. And
they are.
the
They
shit
running
we
out of
seen,
tricks. Yeah, they running out of tricks.
it's only, it'd be right on time, you know?
Facts. Here's the
But
next one. Okay, finish your reasoning.
star nations have been attempting to get our attention for a long time, since the 80s. Really since before then, but the 80s, they've been pulling out a lot of stops trying to get our attention.
Facts.
And you know, I know KTL has been paying attention.
Right.
And we have to continue to do so.
But we have to also know they have the technology to fake some moves. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised. The timing makes me wonder, you know. What's your thoughts, Red?
You know, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, I
So,
don't, I don't really trust them.
but I'll say this too, right? And this is Rossman speaking as a galactic human. I'm a galactic. When you study the Mayan calendar and your glyph and your tone and all that,
Right.
I'm a galactic human. And I've done my best to live that. A galactic human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing why the galactic community is like, nah, them niggas, they gotta stay quarantined on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They you know, they ain't ready to be galactic
They ain't
humans.
ready. Not
They ain't
yet.
even Earth. Why? Because we ain't even earthly humans.
Damn.
We be fighting one another over some bullshit.
Right.
Men and women fighting, white and black
Gender
fighting.
wars. Right. Skinny and fat fighting.
Come on, man.
Brown.
You
I,
name it.
I,
You name
I
it.
haven't heard. I'm not into light skins. I be
So
watching you know, my little guilty pleasure is watching the dating shows, and like this is an epidemic where people who are my complexion, and when they dating and whatnot, they be like, "Yo, I ain't into light skinned people," or you know, you can't say I ain't into dark skinned people though, because people are being their feelings and whatnot. You know, you're too short. I'm not into short people, and you know, all of this mundane type of. It's like, are we ready to see our ancestors pop up in a quote
Things come to
unquote
those who wait.
in a cigar ship? You know what I mean? Like, are we? Are
that's
we?
what I'm saying. So if we can't get along with our own species,
Right.
right? How are we going to get along in the galactic community of different species? They ain't, you know?
Right. My father house have many mansions, and you
Yeah, yeah,
niggas is gonna
yeah.
tear the
So,
Airbnb up. Y'all too ratchet right now. Y'all gonna tear up
so
all of the mini mansions up.
I think the galactic community is observing us closely
Right.
because beyond us not our inability to get along with each other, we have technologies that damage the fabric of space-time. Nuclear weapons do more than just blow shit up,
Right.
you know, megaton of
Mm-hmm.
TNT. That's you know, the impact of taking atoms. You talk about
Splitting them.
changing timelines, you talk about changing space frames, you
Right.
talking about uh cracking the cosmic framework
Right. The egg.
that you know we all exist in.
Mm-hmm.
That's that atomic weaponry.
Mm.
And I think why they've been attempting to get our attention and you know, like since them Cold War days, right?
Right.
Uh and why they've been paying closer attention to us is because of that,
Right.
right? And we got to do better. And what is that? How one way that translates is if we have a lot of hate and malice in our own palace, We got to work on it. We got to get that. That ain't going to work. If you polarize, whoever you polarized against, if you're a man that's mad at women, or you're a black man mad at the white man, or like, you got to work through that polarization, you know? And it seems like the poles have been, strengthened. The polarization has been strengthened. And it's strengthening.
Right. Look at the election cycle.
Woo! Yeah. But you know what? I think that election was was part of the grand awakening, man. Because I think the biggest result of that election is that the illusion that media was attempting to
right.
cast on Moses, like they lost their
spell
grip.
is weak. Yeah, that spell is weak now.
They lost their grip.
That's
you know.
Fact.
So because also too, why? Because the earth and our solar system's being flooded with certain energy.
Right.
And like you say, we solar maximum this year is a solar maximum year. And the manna from heaven is feeding us.
It is. Big time.
Yeah. So
let's go to this next question because we got a lot of questions.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They want to know, are there any mounds in South America?
Of course.
Right.
Of course. I think they just did a like sonographic
of the rainforest and stuff
of the
like
rainforest.
That. Yeah.
And
they
found
mad
city
structures.
complexes.
Yeah. Megalithic.
Yeah. So
megalithic.
Mounds are a global phenomenon.
And
mounds are a part of antediluvian and post-diluvian culture.
Facts.
And so when we've reasoned on KTL about the global mound matrix, we've usually limited our reasoning to post-diluvian mounds of North America, because I know your KTL communities worldwide.
Yeah.
Still, when we would do roll call, that would kind of embody most we would hear. Right. And those are the easiest mounds for us to access and study.
Right.
And find references to. And that's the foundation of the Free Your Mound research.
Right. Also, I'm going to cut your wisdom, but for the family who may not be familiar with the book that you wrote, Free Your Mounds, because there's a lot of new students in the building, please let them know where they could find your literature, the book that you wrote, multiple books that you wrote, the Philadelphia book, Free Your Mounds, the 5G books, Rocks of Ages.
RASBen.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, RASBen.com. And
RASBen.
I'm in the process of migrating to Amazon.
Okay.
And that'll make it an easier, more timely.
Yeah, let them do it.
Customer service experience,
Right.
Yeah.
So the next question that we have, 7 wants to know, how are you two doing? I'll answer that first. That's a cat in the background?
Yeah.
Okay.
I let I had a stray cat come to my door, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A while ago. It was a beautiful cat, beautiful calico. And it
Right.
was like, it's a cat once, because it was in the autumn
Right. It's
when
getting
mice
cold.
usually come running in the house,
Okay.
right? And so we was like, maybe this is the Most High sending us a cat to
To hold it down for you.
hold it, yeah, help us hold the mice down,
Right.
right? Cat came in and it had kittens, right?
Oh.
So I got a house full of, we've been talking about herding cats, right? I've been learning some deep lessons about cats. I've
Right.
been learning some deep because I've had cats before, right?
I have
But,
as well.
well, they were domesticated cats. It was like
Right.
somebody in the house gave my daughter cats straight from a litter they had,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But this cat
It's an alley cat.
was a street cat.
Right.
Cat lived in the, like
Heathcliff.
street cat from Germantown, Philadelphia,
Yeah, they lit. They
And yeah. So I've learned the biggest difference between cats and dogs. Cats can act domesticated.
mm,
They can choose,
right.
and you see them go through the thought process. Like, how am I going to
They
play this? Am
wise
I
and
going to just
cunning.
live out my nature, my
Right.
animal nature,
Right. I'm gonna
or
play the role.
yeah? And
Right.
so that's been interesting, and to see what I guess you would call a free, because I see why lions represent fixed fire and our will, the
Right.
will principle in humanity, because cats, even domesticated cats, have a free will. And
Mm.
yeah, I've been learning a lot. Go ahead. I know you got a lot of questions.
Nah, no, no.
Man.
I'm just we building. I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
learning process. You're like a parent right now,
yeah.
and that's a beautiful thing. I feel that that's very spiritual. The fact that a cat with children, with child, came amongst you, and you're witnessing, this whole cycle of life and whatnot amongst these vulnerable creatures,
Uh,
on the mean streets of Philly and whatnot.
uh,
So salute for that. You know what I
uh,
mean?
uh,
Salute. And try not to break them up.
uh,
My heart goes out. I was in a parking lot one day and this woman was selling these puppies and whatnot. And I was like, what's different than this in slavery?
uh,
You
uh,
out here,
uh,
bro.
uh,
You out here
uh,
selling off the children of these dogs and whatnot. What's the difference between what you doing, breeding these animals and selling them off,
uh.
than what them damn people was doing when we came here? Like, cut that shit out. They
Well,
want to try to, it got a blue nose and I want 1,500. I'm like, take them damn dogs home, man, and bring
I'm
them
gonna
to their
tell you what.
mama.
Another layer to this, right?
Yeah,
Is in the community, because I've taught in this community for decades,
yes,
and I've raised 5 of my sons in this community, and they have a pretty large network of ones they've grown up with
right,
here, and there's been about, really, I'm gonna say about 3 or 4 other youth whose parents have passed away, right?
right.
And they've kind of fallen in here with us,
Mm,
right? And 2 of them are Leo,
okay.
right? And it's
Strong
been complex.
personalities.
It's been complex, and
Yeah,
having these cats come in here has given me insight into these Leos that have also
Interesting.
fallen in here. And yeah,
Interesting.
it's just interesting.
Very
24
interesting.
has been
Yeah.
interesting, man. I've been learning a lot.
Right.
And it
That's
ain't been
dope.
easy lessons.
Nah, I mean, lessons when they come easy, then they're not really lessons.
Uh,
You know what I
uh.
mean? So that goes right into this question. How are you doing? I'm I'm
Well, I've
I'm
been
doing.
better. I've been
Yeah.
better. But
Mm-hmm.
I will say I had uh a very great Thanksgiving experience
Beautiful.
where, as I'm sure with many in KTL, my relationship to them holidays is complex,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And my relationship with some of my extended family is complex,
Right.
you know? And if you would say just in like a one word thing, it's like black sheep of the family vibe, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
And
definitely.
but when I went home, I went to a family reunion down in DC.
Right.
We was 55 deep in the family reunion.
That's what I'm talking about.
And my crew was like you know, my
Your
empress, my
right.
children, bam, we hit it. And it was like the black sheep came home like the shining glory.
Like the returning lion from the
Yeah, yeah,
fury.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
You
because
know,
this is what 2024 represents.
uh, uh.
2024 is the year where the black sheep got crowned a black prince because everybody is awakened.
Hey, I can affirm that, Brethren. I
This
lived
is
it
this
this
is the
last
year,
month, a couple of
right?
storms ago.
Huh? This is the
I
year
lived
where
that.
this is the
And
year where yeah,
it was healing.
dope,
It was healing. What can
dope.
I say? It helped me process a lot of complex emotions and
Right.
let shit go. And
Let some things go. Right.
oh man,
The healing part. Yeah, I
yeah,
already
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
So
went to my aunt. My aunt had a 50th year celebration for her marriage in September. Like
uh,
I didn't do the family thing for Thanksgiving, and it kind of sat with me, but I was like, you know what, it's all good. I'm gonna make up for it. You know what I mean?
yes,
And but prior to that, I got with my family because my aunt and my uncle were celebrating 50 years of being
uh,
married and whatnot. My favorite aunt.
salute.
Yeah, and everybody was there. My son, you know what I mean? Everybody. And
Yes,
it was like it was a beautiful thing. It was just a beautiful thing. It was healing. It was one of those things where it was like, and then I'm having conversation. I have a sister that I just met.
uh,
She's 50.
uh,
If you could understand how crazy that is. And she has an extended family. So it was we connected. I got new family members that I didn't even know that I had until recently. I'm seeing my dad, my uncle, my aunts, my cousins. It was just one of those things. So nothing trumps the healing power of the family. You know what I mean? Nothing trumps that. Even for people who be going through things with their families. I would say that there's gonna come a time where maybe that shit is not gonna be what it is now, because there's a lot of people that have been going through things with family for years and all that, but it gets greater later.
mm.
I would answer this question of how are you two doing. I'm doing good, man. If I was a genie, I would make a lot of things come true and whatnot. It'll come to fruition. 2024 was not a walk in the park. It was about a lot of deep introspection, a lot of shadow work, a lot of dark night of the soul. a lot of conclusions had, I closed a lot of relationships, and I had to end a lot of things and begin some newer things and whatnot. So at the end of the day, life is life, and
I say that. I
life is
affirm that.
life, and you feel me?
You
Greetings.
know
Do
that.
you, because people be thinking like they see you on TV or YouTube and all of this crazy shit and be thinking that you don't live, like life don't happen to you. Like you somehow, because you got followers or because you dripping and whatnot, or because of whatever they conceive in their minds, they come up with all kind of shit. They exclude you from human experience. And I'm like, don't ever make that mistake to think because somebody got whatever you think going on that they not going through life, that life ain't life and
Right.
it's real in the field. I can
Yeah.
have, and it has nothing to do, it's just life. But when I realize the challenges make the champions, then I say, bring it on. You feel me? Because we're all being tested. So if the test that you're going through is at a higher level, that only means that there's higher blessings after those lessons. Do you think the mountain that you broke down was an ancient tree that may have taken energy from the sun? Because there's this theory about the mountain being tree stumps.
Right. No, I don't think that. I think it's more than likely because how the lakes there are called rift lakes. Even how you were reasoning, how there's a lot of tectonic plate movement and
right, because they said the ice caps was feeding the Nile and whatnot.
Yeah. So I think Ruwenzori is where tectonic plates have moved in such a way that you can get deep into the earth's
subterranean caverns.
Yeah, like almost to like the mantle area of the earth,
Right.
the crust.
The crust, right.
You can get through,
right.
And it's at the same time a mountain whose summit reaches the earth.
The sky, right.
Yeah, so it's, that's my thoughts on it. Let me let this cat out the room, man.
No problem. Red, is that the same mountain area and people that gave warning to Hollywood regarding the Black Panther? I'll have the brother Ross come back and answer that. Good question, though. Good question. A lot of people are not familiar with the lawsuit brought against Disney by our good brothers in Africa because of the exploitation through the movie Black Panther. And it was said, it was said that as a result of Disney ignoring them, there was a curse put upon Black Panther. And ever since I read that story, it does seem like Black Panther went from shining in glory to a cursed project. Okay. There's been a lot of as we know, there's been a lot of disruptions to that project. And the movie is not, that brand is not anticipated the way it was. I remember everybody had Wakanda fever. Do you know what that mountain was that they were saying that they copied the whole Wakanda theme from?
I don't, but I would say there was a lot of subliminal messaging with that Wakanda thing. And it just kind of amazed me how something imaginary from the mind of a European about Africa generated so much inspiration and focus and like emotional like don't talk bad about Wakanda out this month.
All right, emotional.
You know,
Right, people
where
they were charged.
even my study of Ruwenzori, because on my Raspin 188 channel,
Mm-hmm.
I have a video where I kind of go in depth on Ruwenzori.
Okay.
And I did some work with some remote viewers. Some remote viewers had become aware of my Free Your Mound work.
Right.
And were like, yo, Raspin, give us a target.
Right.
Tell us a mound to go and check out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him Ruwenzori, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I got some like, you know, people came, like when that Wakanda shit came out, it was like ones were like saying, Raspin, you exposing the real Wakanda, you know,
Right.
why are you telling us the secrets about the real Wakanda? It's like, what? Why aren't you learning about why are you so worried about Wakanda? What the
Right.
hell?
The Hollywood stuff.
Some
Right.
Hollywood shit. Why
Right.
are you even factoring that?
Right.
You know? Instead of learning.
Yeah, because they wasn't jacking the real one. They was like, nah, when's part 2 coming out? I'm like,
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the Wakanda. Even, right, when you study heraldry,
yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
And you study the family whose heraldry is the Black Panther.
Yes.
It's the Hohenlahes.
Mm.
Okay, that's their name. That's the family name, the Hohenlahes.
Okay.
And when you study the Illuminati, and I don't mean no fake Hollywood
Right, right.
Diddy shit.
Right.
All right, I'm talking about the 1,000 points of light
Right.
that George
Right.
Bush referenced several times.
Right.
The 1,000 points of light, the 1,000 men
Right.
that are, or 1,000 people that are of a certain bloodline that are spawned from the penis of the dragon,
Right.
Pindar.
Pindar.
Okay?
Right.
These motherfuckers, these
Right.
cats,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you study the heraldry that these families rock and claim
Right.
as their banner, when you see their banner,
Right. When
they're
they fly their
rocking the
flag.
heraldry, the Hohenlahes, their banner is the Black Panther.
Mm. Interesting.
And there was a lot of other allusions to some families of
Right.
that bloodline, okay? Because another important blood family name in that bloodline are the Breakspears.
The Breakspears.
Yes. So now,
Interesting.
and it's saying this, right?
Right.
Because we're talking about we mentioned the whole idea of entertainers being in the Illuminati.
Right.
There's only one entertainer that I know that because of his bloodline, he could really be an Illuminati.
Is
You know
that
who that
Cooper?
entertainer is?
Anderson Cooper?
Well, it might be, but I was talking about Damian Marley. Because his mom is who? Cindy Breakspear.
Hold on.
So these
Bomba
Breakspears,
cloud.
these Breakspears is a very important family. Okay?
To this day,
These
to this
Breakspears
day.
is a very important family.
Similar to how they caught, there was a rapper named Jay Electronica, and one of the Rothschild women got with him. So you
Right.
saying Bob Marley laid down with the Breakspear?
Yes.
Bumblecleat.
This is it. That's what he's talking about. I'm telling you.
Lord
There's
God.
only certain families that can really be Illuminati.
Yes.
Okay? The Hohenlahes and Break Spears are two of them.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Break
Anderson's
Spears,
Cooper's of Vanderbilt.
Break Spears, their importance. Okay?
Right.
There's
Let's do.
only, all
Mhm.
right, most families
Yes.
that make popes that have papal bloodline,
Right. The papal bloodlines.
okay, are Pisos
Okay.
coming out of Italy.
That's
Couple of others.
Piso.
Huh?
Piso.
Yes.
Okay, I heard of them.
All right. So there's very few other families
Right.
that produced a pope. England, London has only produced one pope
Damn.
in its whole history. England and London has only produced one pope.
Just
And
one.
what was their name? What was that pope's name? Breakspear.
You're gonna have me going on a deep dive after this.
Okay. So, but these Hohenlahe, why I'm mentioning that in terms of the Black Panther is because
Yeah.
even though they didn't say the name Breakspear, in one of the most dramatic scenes, what does he do? He breaks
Breaks
the
the
spear.
spear. Right. It's this your king.
Right.
It's this your king.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So
breaks the
broke the
spear.
spear. So that was another reference. That movie was laden with real Illuminati imagery and symbolism. Even the name and the symbol of the Black Panther, right?
Dope.
Black cat, the Hohenlahe, the heraldry of the Hohenlahe, and Breakspear, where even though they didn't say the word,
Right.
they didn't say the name, they had the most dramatic scene, a tribute to the Breakspears,
Yeah, no,
because
that's deep.
it's these bloodlines. Now they are connected to the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn, like they're the order that has a strong foothold in Follywood.
Yeah, they do the sex magic rituals and ting
Yeah,
and ting.
and
That's
Aleister
Crowley,
Crowley,
Crowley and all of that.
all of them.
You got
So
Goldie Hawn.
now the Golden Dawn serves the Illuminati.
Yes.
1,000 points of light, right?
Mhm.
But they're not. You can't be one of these 1,000 points of light unless your bloodline has produced a real king or a real
A
pope.
pope or real pope, right?
That's that's just what it is.
So the bloodlines that produce presidents in the USA, what's them?
They're coming out of from Charlemagne.
Right.
Most of them could trace their lineage to Charlemagne. But see,
Mhm.
a president is more of an emperor.
Right.
He's an elected emperor.
Right. He's the help.
Yeah, he's He's it's not noble born.
It's not nobility.
Yeah. So the nobility of America are
Right.
under the cloak of the Society of the Cincinnati.
7 Hills
Yeah.
of Rome.
So if you want to explore those that call themselves the nobility of America, the royal bloodlines of America, they're cloaked under they're like the Society of Cincinnati's no secret.
Right.
They had a public website. They list all their members, how they became
Right.
in the member, right? So
Right.
now, originally, to be a member of the Society of Cincinnati, you had to be a war officer of the the American Revolutionary War,
Yes.
be a officer, not an infantryman, an
Right.
officer, or the French counterparts. So there are a lot of French who are in the Society of Cincinnati too, right?
Okay.
And they are America's royalty. And one of
Okay.
their most important cities, and the city that they live in and make their moves, is Philadelphia.
Bomboclat.
Okay?
Same
Like
place.
New York, like I know New York is a media hub and a
Yes.
financial hub.
Yes.
But if you want to study America's royalty,
Right.
the noble bloodlines from Europe that came over here, and
What about Boston?
I have to research Boston
Yeah.
more. I have to research it more. I know
Okay.
John Adams. I know that Adams family is rooted up there.
That's Camelot. That's the Kennedys and all of them
Yeah.
type of
So
thing.
I have to research it more.
Okay. So
But
look, I
yes.
got 2 to 3 more,
All right,
and then
let's
we
go.
out of
I'm
here.
sorry. I know
2
I'm
to 3
see I'm
more. Nah,
all in
you
my
you you
meditation.
reasoning. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
all
you
so I'm
reasoning.
catching uh the
So
what
Janie Janie want to know, what are your mental health projections for our melanated people? How to keep ourselves ironclad for 2025?
it's a relevant question
It is.
because all right, quick glance at 2025. There's when we look at a chart
Mhm.
or we look at a picture of the sky, because that's what the chart is. When we look at the picture of a sky, right,
Right.
of our solar system, uh, we see what they call the inner and outer planets, right? So the inner planets is Saturn to the sun. Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, the moon, and the sun, right? Mercury also.
Mhm.
So they call those our personal planets,
Right.
right? Then you got the outer planets
Right.
of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto,
Right.
right? So the outer planets, their orbits are very slow. And those are called transpersonal planets because the way they move so slow, they say that they impact whole generations
Mm. Okay.
instead of an individual. So they represent, how kind of what makes us is the generation we grew up in.
Different generations, different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Like we're
under.
not of the same generation.
Right.
I think there might even be a couple of decades between us.
No. I'm 75.
All right, well, I'm 65.
Okay, here we
I was
go.
born in 65, so it's 10 years between us,
Right.
right? So uh even that 10-year difference,
It's a generation.
it's a big imprint difference,
Mhm.
right? Because one of those transpersonal planets, like where's your Pluto? Your Pluto in Sag, right?
Mhm.
Is you Pluto in Sag?
Yep.
So I'm Pluto in Scorpio, right? Am I right? No. My
Hold on.
Pluto's in Virgo. So your must be Pluto in Libra.
Pluto and Libra.
But either
Mm-mm-mm.
way, them transpersonal planets shifted signs between 65 and 75.
Yeah, I'm Pluto and Libra.
Pluto and Libra, right? So I'm Pluto in Virgo,
Okay.
right? And so
We Pluto in Aquarius now.
we're Pluto in Aquarius now. We're about
Just
well,
went into that.
it's where I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay. Because all three transpersonal planets are gonna move into a new sign next year. Or be in a, be ingressing. So we got Pluto moving into Aquarius, Neptune moving into Aries. But the one that I think is going to impact the mental health for the next 7.5 years very dramatically, Uranus is moving into Gemini.
Mm.
So when we study Gemini, which is the principle of mutable air
Right.
in our bodies,
Right.
where does mutable air dwell in us and what does it rule? Dwells in the brain. And
Right.
it rules our perception, our communication, and our cognition, the way we process
Thanks.
information,
Right. Right.
right? And Uranus is considered like the bringer of chaos. You know, imagine if we lived a life where we knew everything that was going to happen every second. Like we knew it was like we know it seems life is preordained, right? But who knows the preordainment and who can
Right.
there seems to be a random, uncalculable, unforeseen dimension to our
Right.
reality.
Yep.
And it's a blessing because why live? Why go through it? Why experience it if we knew what to expect at every second?
Right.
There has to be an unknown,
Unpredictable. Yeah. Unpredictable.
chaotic,
Chaotic. Yeah. That's the
what
spice of life.
this, yeah. So that's what Uranus represents. Okay.
Okay.
But Uranus in Gemini can also be a lot of chaos of the mind. It could be two things on the positive side, right? What we would say positive side, what people would probably interpret as a positive thing.
Well, it's beneficial, you mean?
Yeah, beneficial. Thank you.
Right.
Uranus is the sudden, like the light bulb goes off,
Right.
the sudden revelation, the sudden
Quick
inspiration,
thinking, downloads and stuff.
downloads. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh,
Right.
sudden vision.
Right.
Light is now on. I got it.
Type
Right.
shit. Right. Right.
So when Uranus activates the mind, there can be a lot of that happening.
Oh.
A
Okay.
lot of like
Yeah.
bam,
Breakthroughs. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Eureka moments, they call it.
Yeah, eureka moments. That is the perfect name for it. Thank
Right.
you.
Eureka.
But at the same time, what we call schizophrenia, what we
Mm-hmm.
call
Multiple personalities and stuff.
yeah, and
Right.
just
It's gonna
disordered
exemplify.
thinking,
Right.
illogical thinking.
Disassociate behavior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all that, like, you just out there, you want some other, like, what's your angle?
Right. Like New York right now.
That could be Uranus and Gemini too,
Oh, interesting.
right? So next year, and I'll just take a moment to speak about the 0-degree Gemini
Okay.
because I think that's important. Okay, because the sign before Gemini is Taurus, right?
Yes.
And
Gotta
Taurus is
figure my
fixed
Tauruses.
earth. So that's earth that's not growing into a mountain like Capricorn. That's not earth that's evolving into something else like Virgo. That's just stable earth.
Right.
So imagine you're walking, you're taking that journey through the underworld. And for 30 degrees, you're walking on fixed earth.
Mm.
And then you get to the end of Taurus. What's your next step? Into
Air.
mutable air.
Right. Air.
Air coming into some other shit. What?
That's gonna be interesting.
And so that is, where we've seen this step represented in cinematography
Where?
in that Lost Ark movie where Indiana Jones had to throw that sand, like he came to a chasm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the proverb was more or less like you got to take a step of faith,
Right.
and he ain't see that there was like a glass walkway that was kind of invisible.
Right.
That if he just took that step, he could
Mm-hmm.
traverse
You could
across
traverse across it. Right.
the crevice,
Right.
right? That's the 0 degrees of Gemini. That's the first degree of Gemini, bro.
Damn.
You've walked 30 degrees of fixed earth, and then you got to take that next step and have
Have
faith.
that faith. You gotta have that faith.
You got to have that faith.
That's probably when the damn ships is gonna show up.
Uh,
And you gotta have
uh,
that faith to walk in that damn craft or not,
uh.
Real quick,
So
somebody wants to know: are the Twa or Batwa tribe from the Rwenzori mountain area?
the Twa I associate with Southern Africa,
Right,
the Serengeti.
right. There is a tribe though.
Yeah.
It's
So
in the
now,
presentation that we just did.
in the Ruwenzori, you have two language groups primarily. Okay. One of the language groups are Bantu speakers.
The Bantu. Okay.
Okay. And there are many tribes, right, of Bantu speakers. Okay. They share the same language family and they share the same way of life, which tends to be agricultural and hunting and gathering. Then you have
Okay.
another group, another language family that has several tribes within it. And that's called Neolithic.
Right.
Like the language family is
The language family.
referred
Okay.
to as Neolithic. And the ones of these tribes, number one, they tend to be very tall. So like your Manute Bowls, your Sudanese, your like the
Mm,
Maasai
the
are
Maasai and
one
them.
are
Right.
Neolithic,
The land.
right? They
Right.
tend to be tall and they tend to be pastoralists. So they don't grow crops. They herd cattle. They
Mm.
graze cattle and
Those are the
livestock.
ones that drink the
They drink
cow's
cow's
blood,
blood. Yeah.
and they eat the bush. I had a video that I posted. Dude was tearing it. I don't, they were tearing some animals up. Let's just say
Uh,
that.
So these two language families, many tribes from both share this land that they call Watu in Bantu language. Zulu is a Bantu tribe, okay? But the Zulu live in South Africa, south of the Limpopo River. All right. So now,
Right.
if you ask the Bantu, hey, how's this region? How y'all organize this region? Right? They say the land that is north of the Limpopo River is Watu Wakele. That's what they call it.
Watu Wakele.
Watu Wakele. And so the land Watu Wakele would encompass the Congo River Basin, right? And the Rift Valley,
Mm.
where Mount Ruwenzori is kind of like in the Rift Valley, okay? It's the mountains that make the Rift Valley, okay? So this is part of a land that in Bantu language is called Watu, because when you talk about why I mentioned the Zulu is because Credo Mutwa is the Zulu shaman
Yes,
who
Credo.
shared his what he learned as the Zulu Sangoma with the world, right?
Right.
And so he calls this land Watu Wakele, land of
So,
the elders. That's kind of
okay.
what it translates to, land of the elders. And he traces the Zulu lineage Bantu lineage. The Bantus that live south of the Limpopo River, the Zulu being one of them, right? He says their ancestries came from Watu Wakele. Okay. So that's kind of
Beautiful.
now the other big, large, important language family of Africa are Mande speakers.
The Monday.
Okay. Mande
Mm-hmm.
speakers are centered in West Africa and the Sahara. There's not that many Mande speakers in the Uganda region. Okay. But there
And
are some.
right. That brought to mind quickly the civil war and the ethnic cleansing that's taking place over there. I think we'll have to get into that another time.
Yeah. So now, well, I think if I might be knowing what you're speaking to,
Yes.
which was the war in Rwanda.
Well, the war in Rwanda spilled over into the war in the Congo because the Rwanda is spilling over into the Congo,
Yes,
clipping a whole bunch of people as a result of what took place in Rwanda.
yes. And so now the roots of that is what we're speaking of, because the pastoralists, those that live by letting their animals graze on land, they've been at war with the agriculturalists who feel like these pastoralists are letting their animals come and mash up the
Mash up
land.
thing, right?
They would rather cultivate, right? They have been
Mm.
warring for generations. And that generational war has evolved into the genocides and ethnic cleansing and tribal warfares of more modern times. Yes. Yes.
Interesting. Interesting perspective. I had one last question. I'm looking for it. The sister was asking it a few times, and it had to do with the can RAS speak on the Susquehanna River and time manipulation
Mm,
and or magic slash ritual?
mm, mm,
And
mm,
this you do speak on this.
mm. Well, it's similar. It's so we've been focusing on Africa.
Yes.
with this talk about Ruwenzori and the worldwide grid. But the two sisters, the Delaware River and Bay, which is the Lenape-Hana Delaware River and Bay, or the Lenape-Hana River and Bay. You know,
Yeah.
its original name, but we call it the Delaware.
The Delaware. Right.
And the Susquehanna River and Chesapeake Bay, which
Yes.
it really is just the Susquehanna River and Susquehanna Bay.
Right.
Chesapeake Bay is the Susquehanna Bay, right? So when you study geology, right, and ask the question, what came first, the river or the mountain? That's kind of an easy question to answer, because if the river goes through the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
you know the river came first. If the river
Facts.
goes around the mountain came first, right? So when you study the Susquehanna River, the Susquehanna cuts straight through Appalachia.
Mm.
So the Susquehanna River is older than Appalachia,
Mm.
okay? And there's a couple of rivers. Susquehanna River ain't the only one. There's a river in North Carolina, and there's a couple of other rivers that do this. These are some of the oldest rivers on planet Earth,
Yes.
okay? And so the Susquehanna, so we know water has memory.
Yeah.
We know water is currency.
We know water is extraterrestrial,
Uh,
older than the planet,
uh,
said to come from somewhere else.
uh. So it seems like those that manipulate space-time realize that the Susquehanna as an old river, if they geomantically alter it,
Right.
that it will alter the fabric of space-time.
Mm.
You know, kind of like what we talking about
With the
with
right.
Ruwenzori,
Right.
you know? So,
What a way to bring it around.
yeah.
Full circle.
And right, so why is we talked about the two sisters, the Lenape-Hana, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's so important about this, what they want to call dull aware valley? Because they want to dull the awareness in the dull aware
Right.
valley, right?
Delaware Valley. Right.
Yeah. But see, this dull aware valley runs through what they call geologically a Pangean microcontinent. Some of the oldest Earth that usually when tectonic plates move,
Right.
they move like conveyor belts. So what's
Yes.
on bottom
Comes
rolls
on
on the
top.
top, and what's on top rolls on the bottom.
Right.
But certain parts of the Earth, the way the tectonic plates have moved, these things have never submerged. They've never gone under since
Mm.
Pangea. So imagine how the continents are now, all spread out with oceans in between them, and
Mm-hmm.
all the tectonic plate movement that has occurred from when there was Pangea, one continent, to now what it is now,
Right.
right? And parts of the earth never going under. That's where we at in Philadelphia and in the
Mm.
Delaware Valley. Okay. Big
Right.
part of it is a Pangean microcontinent. So where we are with these two sisters and the Delaware Valley and Delaware River is some of the oldest earth, and the Susquehanna River is some of the oldest water, right? And that's why, one of the reasons why this region is targeted with so much manipulation geomantically, you know, because if they can spin the story here,
right,
it happens with the full participation of the earth.
right. Crazy. Yes, that is reminiscent of the shifting that took place in the movie Dark City. You are absolutely correct. And even Inception showcased that, but Dark City more so. Yo, y'all gonna need a ladder to get out of the bed tomorrow. We going deep tonight. God damn. I mean,
It's an
we
honor.
done went
We
2,000
done
leagues under
taken the red
sea.
pill. We done
Yeah,
took the red pill on a Thursday night. Hey,
on a Thursday.
Drinking the purple drink. Drinking the purple
To this
drink,
day.
taking the red pill.
To this day.
Y'all gonna need a
To this
ladder to
day.
get out the bed, boy. I tell you. Yeah, we went there. We went there. So yeah, family, once again, like I said, you're gonna want to close the year out with us. I don't care what nobody say. You're gonna want to close the year out with us. You know what I'm talking about? On Monday, December the 30th. We're gonna be on Zoom doing a whole year in review through a metaphysical lens. You know what I'm talking about? And we also going to visualize the 9 year. You're going to get it from Ras Ben the only way that he does it. There's no you can't clone it, you can't GPT this, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I mean? This is the original. This is it right here. So go ahead and get your ticket. You know what I'm talking about? It's an early bird special. It will be going up. So take full advantage. We made it at a super duper reasonable price, $44. You feel me? And the link is right here for your pleasure. And also we do have one more special announcement because we do have to celebrate life. You know what I mean? 2024. We're going into 2025 super lit. You know what I mean? We're going to open up a new venue. This is going to be multi-purpose venue. It's going to be a content house, but it's also a bookstore, and it's also going to be a space for manufacturing. All right. We have some top manufacturers that are going to be our partners. Check this commercial out, and then we out. Peace to you and yours, Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, they say all good things come to those who wait. And they also say it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. So with that being said, it's time to finish 2024 in spectacular fashion. Me and Blue Pill and the rest of our team cordially invite you to the grand opening of the bookstore, gallery, studios, a one-of-its-kind content house, and also a membership club. You dig? Yes, we're going to be opening up our doors for the first time on New Year's Eve, and we invite you to pull up and be a part of history. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You, boy. Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you are creative, if you a visionary, if this sounds like something that you've been looking for, then I need you in the building. Come and make history with us, all right? Or it's going to be an all-day event. We will have food, drinks, music. It's 420 friendly. You'll be on that back porch getting it in. You dig what I'm saying? Networking, all type of things. You deserve it all right? So I look forward to seeing you. If this is something that you want to do, comment RSVP and we will send you further information. With that being said, peace, love, and light, man. Y'all stay up. One. Yes. So yeah, that's in Atlanta for my ATLians. Pull up. Like I said, this is going to be a membership club, membership only, but membership has its privileges. And for that day on New Year's Eve, it's going to be like an all day thing, but from 8 until midnight, that'll be our private affair. And I believe up until then, we'll have it open to the public so y'all could come and pop bottles, celebrate. You know what I mean? Make content. We'll be streaming from Twitch live and things of that nature. Yeah. So with that being said, do you have a Cash App or anything that you want to leave the people? Because they are asking. Ross.
Rospin 188 or Rospin. No, it's just Rospin. It's
You
my
sure?
Cash App. I think
For the Cash App?
yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah, I know.
My
Yo,
business.
that's what I'm saying. Even with this membership thing that we're doing, with this content house that we're building, that we're opening up, we're gonna be signing. Like Richfield is coming back, and we, you know what I mean. Richfield for 2025 and whatnot. We're gonna be offering some services to some of the master teachers who are not that technological proficient, who may not know about streaming and all kind of stuff, web design, AI. Or we're gonna be offering all of that specifically to the master teachers, of course, at a discount and stuff like that. We wanna assist. We want to bring some of our younger creative. Yeah, we're gonna assist. We're gonna alley oop it for y'all, because we don't want y'all to get left in this new digital world that we're in.
Oh man, I feel I'm
It's
being left,
brutal.
Brethren. I feel
Yo,
I'm being left. I'm doing my best to
it's
keep up.
family. It's brutal.
Hey, and
It's
I thank you
heartless. It's
for opening the
cold.
door, for letting us reason on this, because we need to know about the global MOUND matrix and how to connect with the greater Earth grid.
That's right.
When we doing our roll calls.
That's right.
You know? Yeah,
Now we're gonna do it with a purpose. To know that the spirit is connecting us, that the ancestors are connecting us, and we are not only connected through these digital networks, but we're gonna be connected through the fact that everybody who lives where they live, and you live, and you know, spirit brought you to wherever you are. You're not just there to punch a clock and to ride around and go to Walmart all day. You're really there to take your shoes off and go to these sacred mounds and do some mantras, you know what I'm saying? Do a little bit of quote unquote invocations and whatnot. Do some deep breathing, plant a tree. You feel me? Put your crystals in the earth. You feel me? Like wherever I go, it's a bag of crystals and I'm burying them in the ground, in the dirt. You know what I'm talking about?
Create
and then I
your
walk
own
on it.
grid.
Huh?
Create your own grid.
Super facts. You feel me?
Your own space-time fabric.
Your own space-time fabric. Your own 0 point type shit. So yeah, man. With that being said, y'all, we up out of here. We up out of here. It's been
Love, honor, and
wonderful.
respect, KTL. Steady on your good works. When I grow up, I'm gonna be like y'all.
Man, just trying to live in the world. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? But thank you everybody for your time. Okay. Is this your store right here? The Raseki store?
That's my good sister. That's Kajara.
Kajara. Yeah, she got you. Right.
Yeah.
Got you. So if y'all want to pick up some books and things of that nature, check that out. Send a brother a Cash App. If you want to get a book from him, how much does the Rocks Cry Out and the Free Amounts typically go for? The price
33.
point. Okay, so 33 to the Cash App. If the website might not be accessible, hit him up on Cash App. Let him know that you want that, and he'll take care of you. Like he said, now y'all have a new travel destination. When you go to Africa, for my passport bros is moving around and stuff like that, and my passport sisters, you know, take your, it's a family trip to the mountain. You know what I mean? To the mountain of the moon and whatnot. So, with that being said, me and this man will see you on the 30th at the end of the month. When we turn that Zoom camera on, I want to see our faces and whatnot. We want to see our faces, because from this point on, we're going to be in the lab, deep diving on this information, cracking codes, giving y'all the best presentation possible so you could go into 2025 with the vision, right? This is all about vision and timing. Imagine if somebody started this year and had the vision to go and get XRP or these coins and all of this stuff. The vision is what's going to help you separate yourself from the average. So yeah, with that being said, let's get our vision correct with the visionary himself, RAS. Love and light to the family. We appreciate you. We'll see you very, very soon. Peace.
Love, honor, respect. Salute.
Salute. All right. One.
Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Red and blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, I'm stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. If we don't put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.